Senzo Meyiwa, old friend Tumelo madlala, wrapped his testimony in Pretoria High Court in tears after 3 weeks that he's been appearing inside the court as a witness. Madlala was there when Senzo was killed. Now the question is to know what kind of witness did Tumelo madlala end up to be. Well, in this video I am going to discuss with you 6 good signs that shows how Tumelo had turned to be the best friend or the fake best friend to Senzo Meyiwa. These 6 good lies, they are going to show exactly where Tumelo has been lying to the court, or Tumelo did not provide the crucial or solid answers that they had asked Tumelo. Because remember, Tumelo madlala was in that house when Senzo Meyiwa was killed, guys. And if there is anyone who can tell us the truth, if there is anyone who can help the Meyiwa family to have a closure about what had happened to Senzo, that would be Tumelo madlala, because it's being described as someone who used to be the best ever friend that Senzo Meyiwa never had. Unfortunately, we get to see dramas after 3 good weeks. We saw a man who walked inside that court with a different attitude from the man that we saw in the Netflix. We saw a man who started crying from day one inside that court. And we saw again the man who ended up crying before leaving that court. What message did Tumelo madlala try to pass through his crying? Can we say, was that crocodile tears? So we're going to discuss that in this video. We would like also to get to know, what do you think of the kind of man or witness did Tumelo madlala tend to be? Because there is a lot that's being said so far through different analytics, through different public opinions. Everyone, they get to see who the Tumelo madlala. So it is for that reason, here at Cool Base, we feel like, okay, today's weekend. What about if we sit in a relaxed mode and try to discuss with you about this problem and the testimony that Tumelo had delivered inside the court? Because Tumelo is not just like anyone. Besides being Senzo Meyiwa's friend, Tumelo was also inside that house. So Tumelo get to tell us a lot of things, and these things need to be analyzed. Tumelo raised a lot of points inside the court. He told the court a lot of things. For an example, Tumelo did explain people who had invited him to Joburg. And obviously we all know that the person who invited Tumelo in Joburg was Senzo Meyiwa. Tumelo also get to tell the court what happened when Senzo Meyiwa was killed. Tumelo get to tell the court how the intruder entered that house and what really happened. Still again, we get to see Tumelo on how he gets to reject the second docket. He called it that it is a lie. That docket never exists. We all know what is written in the second docket. The second docket, which have the names of people who were in that house as the main suspects, people who are supposed to be appearing inside the court, so that they can get also to explain us exactly what happened. But this second docket, they never show it up. And today Tumelo come to confirm that it is a fake docket. Still again inside the court, we get to see a man who came to point the finger on Bongani Tanzi, saying that is the man who were in that house. That is a serious allegations that Tumelo had done inside the court. And for those who always watch my videos, I had told you that there is no way that Tumelo will come inside the court and point the finger on someone then walk out free without explaining more details. And you guys, you get to see on how Tumelo got screwed up by the defending attorney, starting with Titi Toban, followed up by Zandile Mshilolo. They had to question him seriously, and you all have the result of what happened. But in this video, we'll try to tell you more details about that. So still again, Tumelo, he had to tell the court on how Chico Twala had to come to Kelly Khumalo mom's house for him to propose an holiday, to offer actually an holiday to Kelly Khumalo. For what reasons, we will try to elaborate more in this video. Still again, we get to see a Tumelo who told the court about the Netflix series of Senzo Meyiwa, which he had taken the place. He had to explain to the court on how he charged Netflix because he feel like he was not gonna participate in that show for nothing. So he wanted Netflix to pay him in exchange of the pictures. So he had to use Senzo Meyiwa pictures in order for him to give his point of view of what happened in that house. Unfortunately, the story that he said in Netflix and the story that we get into see inside the court, there are totally two things different, which does not even match. So in this video, we're going to discuss a little bit that in details. Guys, it is very important that we talk about this because we've been all watching this show or drama that is happening in Pretoria High Court of this famous football player and Bafana Bafana captain, Senzo Meyiwa, who has been killed. We're talking about almost 9 good years. 9 good years of a man who's being killed, and yet no one is being arrested. Yet no one, we know that this is the person who had done this or who have done that. So we feel that it is very important we get to follow up this case more closely so that we can all be in the same page, so that we can all try to understand what is happening. And for me, I think that through my analytics, I'm here with a paper which I wrote a couple of the basic points, places which I believe that according to me, I'm not assuming for anyone to believe it. You have the right to believe it or reject it, but according to me, these are points that I believe Tumelo Madlala failed to tell the court the truth, failed to express. And this 6 points that I'm going to discuss with you, they will really make you agree with me in majority of them that it was waste of the time to count on someone as a Tumelo. Because all of us, we know that when they mentioned the name of Tumelo Madlala appearing inside the court, we were all excited, guys, because we know what best friend they are for. We know how best friend they love to support each other. We know how best friend they can look after each other, even if it is in your absence. We know. That is the reason why you see someone, maybe if they are visiting the boyfriend or girlfriend, they prefer to share the locations, or they can hide it from anyone, but they'll try to give it to someone they trust the most. Just in case if something happens, at least this person will be the right person to tell the truth. This person will be the right person to inform the police, to inform your family, so that they can have a clarity in whatsoever had happened to you. But unfortunately, when I get to listen to what Tumelo Madlala had said inside the court, I don't know. Guys, please like the video. If you have not liked the video, give me your thumbs up. I'll really do appreciate. Do subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed. I'll really do appreciate. But without delay, let's get start with this topic that we had prepared for you. So as you all know that Senzo is no more alive. There's a lot of questions which has been raised on how or what had happened to Senzo. And everyone, since the police failed to arrest the people who supposed to be in jail, everyone, they end up realizing that the right people to tell us who had killed Senzo Meyiwa, it is those who are in that house. As this rumor was still going around, we end up realizing that actually there were a docket, which they call a second docket, that some of detective, they had realized that no, we can't stand here beating up around the bush. The right people to tell us what happened is those who were in that house. And this docket do exist. Yes, it does exist, but there were some people who sit on this docket. And you guys, you get to you saw a lot of dramas inside the court when Advocate Marcela Tefo had to talk about this second docket. And you guys, you all know what happened next. But let's make it quick and make story short. Tumelo Madlala is no one on the street, but is someone very important in Senzo Meyiwa life. And this man, we've been all counting on him, because we know that other people, they can lie, but not him. He's gonna do it for the sake and for the love of his friend. Now that the time arrived for him to come in court, we saw a man who come in court pretending to be someone like it is his first time to appear in front of the camera. From day one. From day one, when the journalists had to ask him simple question, Tumelo, how are you doing today? Tumelo refused answering to the questions. Tumelo, he ended up behaving like someone, I don't know who gave him those instructions. Simple question. How are you doing? I'm fine or I'm not fine. Because after answering that question, I believe the second question was to know, are you ready for today? No one was going to ask Tumelo, tell us what happened in that house. No, because they know that is the reason why he was there. But unfortunately, Tumelo refused to answer to all the journalist questions. Okay, that's okay, we understand. But for those who watch me on that time, I had said it again that I don't like this attitude of Tumelo. Because I had even given some reasons. I said that reason number one, Tumelo had appeared already on the TV from the day when Senzo was killed, because they need to identify everyone who were in that house. So if people such as Kelly Kumalo, a mother, a sister, everyone, they appear in the news, on the TV, or in the social media, Tumelo also was among them. Secondly, Tumelo had the courage to give an interview to the Netflix. After giving the interview to the Netflix, Tumelo also gave his point of views. We saw a man who was at first comfortable and emotional. He spoke a lot of things in that part of series. And then today, all of a suddenly, we get to see a man who's running away from the camera. So I had told you guys that I'm afraid to say that Tumelo is actually following up some instructions, which is coming from somewhere, where they get to prepare him on time, saying that when you go there, if this happen, don't react, or you must react like this. After then, when Tumelo appear inside the court, we get to see a man who become very arrogant, very moody, is not responding to the questions. Instead, each and every question they put to him, Tumelo will take the question and give you also ask you a question on top of your own question. How possible is that? That is what we get to see inside that court. But let's start first. The first question, the first lie, the first point I think Tumelo lied. It is about the alcohol. According to Tumelo, he had to explain on how he get to Joburg because he was in Durban. So when he came to Joburg, he said that it is Senzo who called him. Now that he came to Senzo, how did Senzo fetch him? He said that Senzo fetched me. Therefore, we bought some alcohol. Isn't it? Now that they bought alcohol, I believe you and me will totally agree with me that by then Tumelo was not drunk, because there's no way you will tell us that no, he was busy drinking in the road on his way coming to Johannesburg. I don't think so. Secondly, himself, he said very well that he took some few alcohol, but he was not drunk because he could see and understand what is going on, isn't it? So he was well conscious of everything that was going on. So what I'm trying to say by this is that when Senzo took Tumelo to go to the liquor and buy some alcohol, Tumelo could know how many alcohols or cans or bottle that Senzo did bought. Now, the fact that Tumelo have to come and deny and say that I don't know how many of alcohol did we had in that house, that it is the first lie. Do you agree with me? I'll repeat this. Senzo fetched Tumelo from I don't know wherever he did fetch him. Then he took him, they went to buy some liquid. When they reach there, they buy the liquid and they're supposed to go now to Kelly Kumalo family. So, probably, Tumelo is supposed to know how many alcohols did the Senzo bought. But inside the court, Tumelo denied. For what reason? That is lie number one, as I keep mentioning. Now that they are there, another point number two. It is when they are coming from the from the hospital after Senzo is being shot. Tumelo says that he find the police and a lot of people at Kelly Kumalo's mom's house. When he get there, they ask him a question: did the police took any sample of blood from yourself or anyone, so that they can check for how long you guys have been drinking and how many alcohol have you consumed so far? Tumelo says no, and it is true. This confirm again that the crime scene was contaminated, because when something happened, the presence of police is supposed to be there to secure the whole area until they can come and check everything. Unfortunately, that was not the case. But the question was raised to Tumelo to know. Since you said don't know how many alcohols each one of you were busy drinking, can you tell us at least how many bottles or cans did you see around, just to have at least, can you even try to estimate the empty cans or the one which had alcohol? Do you have anything in mind? Tumelo is saying that no. As for me, I remember taking at least 3 bottles, but for the rest, I don't know. 3 bottles, I don't know what alcohol was he drinking. But according to the report of the police, they only find 2 cans, 2 empty cans. You guys, you understand now? So they all find 2 empty cans, which means someone had come in, remove everything. They did not even throw it in the dustbin, but they took it somewhere else. And that is another lie. That is what confirmed to say that these people, something had happened. They took all their time. I strongly believe perhaps they even try to resurvive Senzo in that house. And they realized that the man is passed on. Now, what can we do? Let us come up with an idea. And the idea number one, let us first clean up so that people, they must not know that we're busy drinking. That is a very easy way of understanding of what happened in that house. Because you can't say that we were all drinking. We had some alcohols. I can't know how many numbers of liquid that other people consumed, but myself, I drink 3. Okay, 3. The police on the crime scene, they are only finding 2 cans. They did not even find the 3 bottles that Tumelo had consumed. They did not find what the other Senzo Meyiwa friend was drinking as well. What Longo Cholo was drinking, or him Senzo Meyiwa. They did not find nothing else. Because they had all the time for someone to come in and clean and make disappear all the bottle. Simple as that. So there, it is a liar. It is another liar. Number 3, that I believe Tumelo was not honest with the court. It is the question when they ask him how did the intruder enter the house. The way he explained, to the way that he explained in the Netflix, it does not match at all. It does not match even a small bit. Yes, because we remember a Tumelo who said that he saw what happened. He even described the person, how they look like. And the next things is coming to tell the story that no, he did not see this person properly. He had to come up with the story telling people on how he wanted to go and hide himself in the bedroom. Guys, you get to see Tumelo explaining people on how Longo Chwala had to go and face a man who had a gun against the wall. That courage is something very beautiful, of course. But as we all know, these people who comes to rob, they're there to steal, like, and they can stop, they can destroy anything that would like to appear on the way. So if you try to stop them, they'll kill you. In our previous video, we asked a question, why these people did not kill Longo Chwala the moment when he tried to go and attack them? No, Longo Chwala was busy doing this. In the kitchen, it was a Kelikumalo with a mother fighting with another one. Okay, fine. What about all of you? Like, what were you doing? They asked him that question. What were you doing? Or, all I know, I was trying to find my way out to run. So, which means Tumelo was trying to run away and leave his friends behind. It does not match in what he said in Netflix. In Netflix, he explained everything the way it was. So that it is another liar that Tumelo lied to the courts. Another part, Tumelo spoke about the second docket, because they asked him the question about the second docket. We all know that the second docket contained the names of people who were in that house. The second docket explained that no, there were a fight in that house, and it was the fight. It was between Longo Chwala and his ex-girlfriend is what is the name again? The Kelikumalo young sister, and it happened that Kelly Kumalo, she wanted to say something, and Longo Tola tried to disrespect Kelly Kumalo, and the next things, Senzo Meyiwa tried to interrupt as well, and that's how the fire went off. Okay. What do you have to say about this? Tumelo says that no, it's lie. That second docket never exists, and things never been like that. So he kindly joining what Chico Twala had also said in the media recently, where I get to listen to him saying that that second docket never exists. For what reasons? Is it because his name is also among the people who are in that second docket? Well, it is just a question. We are all having a conversation. Tell us what you think about it in the comment section. But dismissing the second docket, for me, I find it very fishy. It is a sign of showing that indeed there is something that people are trying to hide in all this. And trust me, very soon someone is gonna come out and tell us the truth. So another point Tumelo Madlala had to say was the one on how Chico Twala had to arrive on this crime scene through the call that Kelly Kumalo made. In our previous video, again, we asked a question to know why the choice of Longo Twala. Because as far we know, this man is not relative to Senzo Meyiwa. It's not his uncle or his business manager or football, whatever you guys you can name it. And for what reason this man have to be called in such emergency? They put him above everyone else, more than even police. He's not even a policeman, but they had to call him. So for those who watch that video, if you have not watched it, please go through my channel. You'll get to see it. It's a very interesting way we get to we speak about it in details. But one of the points which I raised, I gave an example. I said that Chico Twala they did not call him in such a hurry if there was not something that concerned him and his son. Yes, because we all know that when a child misbehaves at school, when a child damages something, a property for someone else, before you get to shout or punish this child, what they usually do is to look for the responsible to this child. And the responsible could be the mother, the father, the sister, someone who's older, someone who will represent this child. Come and see what your child have done. That's what people usually do. So, out of everyone, if Kelly Kumalo decided to call Chico Twala, obviously, it is because there was something which concerned him that come and see. Then he had to come. But we get to see Tumelo inside the court telling the court that when Chico Twala arrived, they distanced themselves from where everyone they were, and all I could hear was Chico Twala proposing, or should I say, offering Kelly Kumalo a holiday in one of European country or somewhere there. For what reasons? Why these holidays have to come and happen only now? It's something very interesting which we get to see on how Chico Twala from his side, he keep also on denying it. But time will tell the truth, guys. We are not that far from the truth. But me, I find it very strange, because out of everyone, he had to go and pick up on Chico Twala to come and appear there. Guys, Now, to summarize what I just said in this 6 point that I raised up in this video, what kind of witness did Tumelo Madlala turn up to be for his best friend? Because we saw after they finish questioning him, we saw the state advocate George Baloy had to go and do what they call to fix some misunderstood that he knows that his client or his witness might end up paying dearly. Because if you get to see when George Baloy introduced Thabo Mosia and this other police surgeon, after they were finished crossing the examination, he never go back and start cross-examining them again. Instead, he let them go immediately. But with Tumelo Madlala, we get to see George Baloy going back through the same questions, actually even bring more questions which were not even asked to him. And you guys will go to see on how Zandile Mshulolo and Titi Toban had to object also what the question that was raising up, because they did not ask him those questions. Well, what George Baloy was doing yesterday was a way, if it happened that, okay, for those who did law, they will tell you, if you bring a witness to court, and now that the defending attorney, they're busy asking them questions, or the state busy asking them the questions, if you feel like they did not give proper evidence to the court, or they did not give the proper answers, and you feel like this will cost me at the end of the day, then you need also to go and try to help them out. You need to come in and try to go through the same question they ask them, so that if they had given the answer and they put it in the wrong way, they can end up trying to fix it and put it in the right way, so that the court will record that and consider what to do in the final judgment. And yesterday, guys, George Baloy knew very well that the testimony that Tumelo Madlala, who is the Senzo Meyiwa best friend, did not add any value. Any value. Did not add any value to this court that we are seeing in Pretoria. Because we get to see a man who come and confusing himself, forgetting that he had lived his image somewhere, where he get to give another side of the story. Unfortunately, they could not come and show what he had said on Netflix, because it is not in the court record. So they need, as lawyers, they need to work with what has been already in the record. But even the court don't do so. Me and you, we have our own way of understanding things. And we have the possibility of us going through the Netflix, rewatching again these videos, and get to understand what this man had said before. And that's what happened. So we get to see a man who was busy confusing himself, denying everything, even things that he had said before. You guys, you saw how Zandile Mshulolo had to put him down and take him through his own statement that he had given. Things that he had said and things that he's saying right now in the court, it does not match at all. And when they ask him a question why this does not match, all he had to say is saying that no, as you can see, this problem took place long time ago. It's been long time, so I can get to forget. You can get to forget. How possible is that? How possible is that? We get to see a man who's busy telling you that he can't even estimate centimeters. A man who's not able to even give you numbers. Yet he's telling you on how he went to school, he did matric. What kind of metric is that you can't even be able to estimate, like just to know from here to that place it is a 2 meter? Eh? So we get to see that he did not want to answer to the crucial questions which were put before him. And even when he feel like answering, he was so rude toward the defend advocates. That's what we get to see. And this, trust me, it is working. I mean, it is working in the favor of the 5 suspects who are inside that court. Because all the evidence so far, I don't know. If this court have to stop today, I don't see anyone will be condemned here. Yeah. Whereas people who were in that house, whereas people who are inside the court, I don't see anyone, because there's not any solid evidence that shows that, okay, Bongani Tanzi is the man who had shooted, or who is the man who entered that house. There's not any proof at all. It was good for him to come and mention or point the finger on somebody, saying that no, Tanzi is the one who did this. But proving it, that was another story which he failed. So he ended up living in tears. I don't know why. Was he crying? Was he crying to say that I'm so proud because I had made my friend Senzo Meyiwa to be proud of me by telling the truth? Or was he crying because he feel like I have failed my friends? I failed because where I supposed to tell the truth, I did not do so. Or maybe was he crying that I have betrayed my friend? Those are the questions we're leaving up to you. So the court is adjourned for now until next week, Monday. Of course, in 2 days only, we'll get to know who will be the next witness. But so far, the rumor that we have in our possession, the person who will be appearing next week inside the court, that will be Luongo Chwala. It could be him or someone else. So please don't hold me for that. I'm just guessing, because according to my analytics, I believe that the state defend George Baloyi, he will need someone who was in that house who will come to add more information on what Tumelo madlala have said so far. Because Tumelo madlala, he did not add that value to this case. His testimony was not credible. Instead, he now make many people to question him and his loyalty to Senzo Meyiwa, especially when he gets to give the answer about the Netflix money, which they ask him, how did you spend this money? And he refused to explain how much was this money. He refused to comment about it. This money, did you try at least even to give Senzo Meyiwa children? He said that, no, I'm not the one who's supposed to be taking care of the Senzo children. Just imagine that kind of friend. You are busy using my pictures to make money. Now you don't even want to look after my children. My friend, if it was me, I was not going to let you eat that money. I was going to make sure that you see me everywhere in that money. Whenever you look that money, instead of you seeing my Nelson Mandela face, you get to see Senzo Meyiwa face there. Because you use someone's picture. He used Senzo Meyiwa picture in order for him to have that money. And he decided to eat it all alone, without even giving Senzo Meyiwa family something about it. And you call this person that, no, is a good friend. No. He's not a good friend. So for me, guys, to you, I'll be honest with you as always. I believe he's a man who had failed his friend. He had a very good opportunity for him to do things in the right way. Since the Senzo Meyiwa family, they are no longer considering him. They feel like it's someone who had betrayed the son, the brother, the uncle, the cousin. This was the right moment for him to come and help this family to understand exactly what happened. Even if, let's say, like, even people who were in that house, they're not the one who did crime. But just find a proper way to collaborate with the court. so that at least you can also clean up your names to those who are busy thinking that you are being corrupt, to those who think that you have betrayed Senzo Meyiwa memories, to those who believe that you were not a good friend, you were a Judas next to Senzo Meyiwa. This was a good moment for him to come and clean up his name. But unfortunately, he failed. He failed because of his arrogance. He failed because of his moody. They're asking you one question and you are busy also shouting also at the advocate. That's the reason why you get to see Zandile Mushulolo whenever she's about to start questioning him questions. She had to tell him, to remind him the reason why he's there. Because sometimes I think he was forgetting that he's there just to help the court to understand what had happened in that house. And not to come and start taking problem like it's personal. You start taking it like about you. I had told you before that inside the court, these lawyers, they are dealing with someone who's well prepared. They train him. Yes, they train him. They tell him what to do. And we'll get to see again next week, because I strongly believe it will be Longo Twala who will have to appear inside the court. If it is not Longo Twala, if I'm mistaken, it will be Kelly Kumalo's sister. Yes. So one of those two will appear inside the court. Forget about Kelly Kumalo. I don't see Kelly Kumalo appearing any moment soon. Yeah, I don't think her appearing inside the court any moment soon. So let's wait and see. Because if it was Kelly Kumalo who could have feel it through the letters that an advocate wrote to the court, perhaps it could also be a Kelly Kumalo. You're never gonna know. Yes, it could also be Kelly Kumalo appearing next week inside the court, because you know, a lawyer did also insist a lot. She wants to be inside the court. So who knows, maybe Kelly Kumalo, she's the next one. So she wants to be there as a lawyer, so that she can also take note of everything that will be happening inside the court. Let's wait and see. But one thing I know for sure is that next week is going to be a very interesting next week inside the Pretoria High Court. We'll get to see some interesting dramas again there. As long, at the end of the day, Senzo Meyiwa will get the true justice that he deserves. And his family, they'll get to have a closure about what happened to Senzo Meyiwa. That is all that matters for us. It is for that reason why we keep to sit here time to time, engaging ourselves in the conversation with you, talking with you time to time, so that at least we can all be in the same page. I know some of you are watching us from far. Some of you are in the overseas. Yes, so we are here just to inform you of everything that is happening back home. And the only things we asking you in return, it's just for you to like this video, give me your thumbs up. It will really do me good, you know. Yeah, subscribe to the channel if you find anything beneficial in this video, so that you can be able to catch up some of our videos again in our next move or record that we'll make. Once again, allow me, I'd like to apologize for the conditions in which I'm recording this video, because as you can see, I'm sitting inside the car, the camera is moving, there's some noise in the background. Well, because I'm not in our studio, as you guys you know very well. I told you that I am on duty somewhere. I can't mention the name. So when the duty calls, sometimes we have just to do things the way we are doing it. Since I know that you guys, you are also watching and expecting to hear from us and what we have to give as our analytics. That is the reason why I said, okay, let me just at least use the car just to record and talk to you. So please don't hold us against that. We apologize for all the inconvenience. Yeah, that is it, guys. But once again, thank you so much for those who take the time to watch this video until now. I really do appreciate you. For now, continue to be yourself, be good, be kind, have respect for everyone in order for you to be respected. May God bless you all. I'll see you again very soon. Ciao, ciao.